Hey everyone, and welcome to another video of the Buster Monkey. How are you guys doing? I'm finally back with a new video. I'm so sorry if it took forever. I've been very busy lately. I was able here to answer some of your questions, guys, about these trees that I did in the past, and also this one that I did on Sketchbook. You can find the link somewhere around this video. So here I want to explain you guys more in details the technique that I used for these trees, in order for you to replicate that and put it into your props, into your backgrounds, into your sketch, whatever it is. I don't want to waste too much time in the introduction here, so I just want to jump into the video. But thanks a lot, guys, for following me and stick with me even if I'm pretty slow with these videos. A like and subscribe is always welcome if you want to, and let's go to the video.
Okay, so as always we start with just the line drawing, and then we go straight into masking the bigger shapes and dividing everything into layers. As you can see here, I'm trying to be careful, but thanks to the line I don't really have to be super careful because it's gonna hide the edges. But this is a good step in case you don't want the line. You must be precise here, because the result that you're gonna have here is gonna be the result that everybody's gonna see. At this stage I don't know the colors that I'm going to use, so I'm just placing like placeholders. But yeah, at the end it's not gonna be too different, you will see, from these tones. But I always try to give variety, especially from the other trees that I showed you before, trying to do something that it's in that world but slightly different, so it can be a unique piece. And keep in mind that this technique can be used to do anything you're working on. So if you want to be graphic and quick, it's a good way on giving you a quick idea on what it could look like, especially if you're in a production. This could be a good way. Keep your line on if you are on a schedule, if you have to go fast. Of course, you know, every show has its own style, and but again, if you have to go fast, I found myself using this kind of rendering technique pretty often. And this is actually not too far from what I do when I do paintings without the line. Repeating myself, if you don't put the line, you just have to be more precise, or maybe let your brush deal with the edges. And it can be really unpredictable sometimes, but here you have a cleaner way to design your edges as well and really dictate your style. I tried to keep the scene pretty easy to work on, not too many layers. I have the trunk, the base, 2 layers of branches, I think, and 2 layers of leaves. This is one of them. As you can see, I'm trying to be, again, careful but not too much. I'm trying to visualize this bus. Oh, the bus has another layer, of course, and the grass. But overall it's pretty easy, and you can see yourself having a background as well with a couple of more layers. It's gonna be a pretty simple scene. Here I'm starting to render the tree, and I just go with light and shadows very quickly with a soft brush. At this stage my brain is starting to think about colors, about light direction, about all these things. I'm already trying to go a little bit too far from where I should be right now, because I'm already starting to define bouncing lights and those cold tones. I should stay away from those details right now. Try to have the bigger picture in front of you first of all. Don't zoom in too much, don't focus on the small detail. Just try to have to give the sense of depth, especially when you have the line. Everything tends to look flat. So no matter how much you paint, if you keep the line at the end, it's really important that you maintain and you have it under control in terms of shapes, and imagine them, especially what I'm doing here, in a 3D way in my head, that this is like made of small cylinders and boxes. They have depth. I'm trying to emphasize the round trunk of this tree, and that's very important because, again, I'm gonna keep the line at the end, and that line is basically fighting against what I want to try to do, especially if you're working on a movie and it's gonna be a 3D movie in a 3D world. When you give this to a 3D modeler, it needs to be really clear what's in front and what's in the back, and kind of understanding the volume of the shape. Another advice that I think it's good to know is don't spend too much time on the same part of the painting. Try to go around and bring it forward at the same time overall, because you might struggle to have everything on the same level at the end, just because you might go too far in one side and too little in another side, if that's a good way to put it. I hope it makes sense. So here, as you can see, I'm in a comfortable place with the trunk. I already started redefining, even just with a soft brush. The base, I have my light, the leaves are still basics, but they're green, they're not gonna have too much detail, so I'm good with that. I'm starting to define the light direction. I always keep in mind, as I said before, the volume of all those roots and whatever we're gonna call them. This texture is simple but at the same time complex, and I hope that a 3D artist is able actually to visualize this tree in a 3D program, and it wouldn't be too far from what it is in 2D right now. Also, when you do these kind of things, try to exaggerate a little bit the integration of the things that you put in your painting. For example, here I have the trunk and the tree, and I have my base with the grass, the yellow grass in this case. As you can see, under the belly of the tree, I have this bouncing light, this yellow bouncing light. It wouldn't be like that strong in reality, especially because this is a big tree and the scale of the tree is dictated by the school bus that we have on the right of the tree. So that bouncing light wouldn't be that hard, but at the same time, to make them live together in a much stronger way, I decided to emphasize it even more. When you work in stylized paintings like this, you want stuff very obvious. You don't want things half and half, you know, middle way. So yeah, I think that's a good thing that I've learned during the years. After many questions of directors or people asking, is that thing like that? Or so in my head I'm always like, oh, I should have done it more obvious, even if it's not really true. And that's the beauty of animation. We can cheat as long as it's cool to see. It's all good, you know. It doesn't have to follow the laws of reality, and that's the beauty of it again. As you can see, I keep going here, redefining, jumping all over the place right now. I'm trying to make sure that the light is in the right place, the shadow is in the right place. I don't want to over render the base. I just started it right now, putting the shadow, softening it a little bit. At the same time, I don't want to render it in the same way of the trunk. So the trunk is the protagonist, the base is secondary. As you could see in the first line work at the beginning, there were two little people on the top of the tree. I decided to get rid of them because you wouldn't see them. They're not the protagonist. It's not a story moment. But let's say if we want to crop in the top area and just look at them with a closer camera, then we can just add them in another painting. Here I'm masking stuff out to make sure I know what to bring forward and what to push in the background. Again, just to give more volume and sense of three-dimensionality to the tree. And I think I'm almost done, and yeah, that's it. That's it. It was, again, super fun. I hope I answered questions that you guys asked me, already coming from the video I did on the sketchbook tree that you can find here in the link below. But yeah, that's it. I tried to keep it short but on point, and I hope you can tell how much I love painting trees and nature. Those final touches are very important, especially if you went too far with details. Always try to remind yourself what's the story behind it, what's the focal point, what should I look at and what should I not look at. Especially that. Sending the right message on your painting is crucial, so don't be afraid of making drastic changes. No one will ever know what you deleted in order to make your painting successful. I hope it makes sense. As always, let me know what you guys think about this video. I hope you like it, and I hope it inspires you for your next project that I can't wait to see, by the way. Don't forget to like the video if you did like the video, and don't forget to share with your friends if you think they're into that. You can also find me on Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, everywhere. Everywhere should be a social network actually. Maybe there is. I don't know. Check out my prints and book in the link in the description. Don't forget to join the Discord, the link is there too. Thank you as always for the amazing support. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.